All right, guys, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we are back with Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard only run video. Today is a request from one of our viewers. They wanted to know about blessings and I guess all the things that go along with it. So we're going to do a whole video on it. I had done one a long time ago, but I never actually did it on the actual blessings themselves. We kind of really just went over what I do every day. So we're going to kind of mix it all together and put it all into one video. So basically, you have this Altar of Souls, and eventually you will unlock it. I do not remember what level it was. I mean, probably somewhere between 40 and 60, I would assume. I'm not really sure. Like I said, that unfortunately, I don't really know. But eventually you will unlock the Altar of Souls, and you have to come in here and summon things, and you get blessings. Now, the only way to get these things is, events. You can get it through the dungeon for the Iron Twins, and there's a couple of other ways, but otherwise, you're going to be kind of collecting coins and doing things like that. Now, the way that I specifically do it, because unfortunately, we don't really spend a lot of time in events, so unfortunately, the only way I can get it is over time. And basically, what I do is I run the dungeon every single day and I use all my keys and I get my little coins here that you get from winning, and we go into the Mystic Market, and then once we hit 1,000 we will buy Mortal Soul Stones. You also can get these from Hydra, so you get like one, possibly two from beating Hydra, which is nice from the box. So definitely want to be doing Hydra eventually and getting those boxes. Even the first box alone is good, and if your clan can beat the Hydra, you get two of them every week. So I mean, basically I get somewhere between, I don't know, I'm gonna say 5 and 15-ish a week I will get of these summons. And yeah, I could start saving them up, but I just don't. Now, once you do that, you go in here and then you summon your little guys, and eventually you get these coins. Now, most people will save these coins up and try to get the higher ones, like the 3 to 6 stars and all that. I don't do that. I don't think it's not a good idea, but I also don't think it is a good idea. The way I do it is I just use these coins and I go into the Mystic Market. And once again, you can buy these Immortal Soul Essences. All right. And with these coins, all right, you can go into the Soul Merchant, and eventually you can purchase the ones that you want. Now, this is a great way to get these guys and get blessings on all your heroes early on. There is going to come a point where this will be a little bit unrealistic, all right? Because when you're trying to get heroes here, it costs 20 of these coins just to get a 1-star legendary. All right. Now, I've seen, I think it was a 4-star, I believe, for one of my heroes. And yeah, it was like 300 coins. So it does get a little unrealistic for higher level heroes. Even for the rare heroes, look at this. You've got 30 coins for a 4-star, which isn't terrible. And then eventually it moves into 5-star, which then you'll start needing these coins, the gold versions. And those are a little bit harder to get. You can get them from tournaments, things like that. I only use these gold coins on heroes that I really, really, really want to level up. Everything else, like this one right here, Templar, if I had 4 coins right now, I'd probably buy it. You know what I mean? I would just get it. Really, this is for up to 1 to 3-star, which is good enough to keep your heroes running. See, 12 coins for this hero. And once again, I only do 2 and 4 for heroes I currently own, and I'll do 12 and above for heroes that I use. So this guy, I wouldn't grab this more than likely unless I really, really needed to build him. All right, and then and here, that's your soul collection. I actually sold a bunch of souls, so it is possible to get a bunch of good souls. I mean, look, we've got 2 3-star mythicals, we've got a bunch of 2-stars, we've got this 5-star hero. A lot of this came from events, came from like random pulls, things like that. We've got 3-star legendaries in here. We've got a bunch of stuff. We've got some 5s, we've got some 4s, some 3s in my epics. I have a few 6-stars, as you can see, 2 6-stars that we've gotten over the time that we've been playing. Remember, we've been playing for like almost like 2 years now. So, yeah, it's just over time you just happen to get these blessings. Look, 4-star right here, another 4-star, 3 stars, and that's good enough. Honestly, 3 to 4 is fine. 1 and 2 is enough to get you that blessing, and that's really all you need. We have a few other ones down here. We have a 6-star of this guy down here. He's unfortunately, I think he's a void, so we can't really use him. And then we've got a bunch of 5-stars here as well. Now, what else do we have? Let's look at my actual team. We don't want anything. There we go. Let's go in here. Actual team. So this is my actual teams, and as you can see, we'll open it up to my big screen so you can kind of see how they all have it. See, most of my heroes have a blessing. Almost all of the ones that I currently use, like there's very few in here, if any, that do not have at least a 1-star blessing. We actually just bought Taya, who's one of our newer heroes, and we just got her from the shop. So immediately upon getting her, we basically have a blessing. Say we have a couple 6-stars that we had gotten. We have a lot of 5-stars now. I think we bought Apothecary's 5-star from the shop, and I believe we pulled what's her name, Spirit Host randomly. And then I've got some other fours and some threes. Mainly three is like my average for my rares, as you can see, a lot of threes. And then you start getting to my lower end heroes. See, we have a bunch of twos here, and then we have a few ones. Let's see, like Templar I could buy. And I'll buy the 4-star, the 4 coin version of this because it gives me 2 stars, which is why only 3 of my heroes actually at this point that I currently use only have a 1 star. Everyone else is 2 star and above, as you can see. Obviously, you can't do it for these guys. And then on top of that, or just to kind of see how far you can get over 2 years of just literally just grinding and not even, I don't even think about blessings. We'll be honest. Like I don't even think about it. It's just, it's a grind every day. I buy my thing, I summon, and then I move on. Champion Vault. Here you go, Vault. So this is my Vault. We've got a bunch of heroes in here that have 3 stars. Like, look, we got a 5-star hero right here. Like all these heroes have a bunch, all of them have blessings. I mean, look at this. Almost every hero I own has a blessing at this point just because we buy them. Here we have one hero right here that doesn't have it. And then my 4 stars, we've got a bunch of heroes down here, my level 40s. Let's see how many heroes that we have that don't have a blessing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, is that, yeah. Is that Gormask? I don't know. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got about 10 or 11 heroes out of the 200 plus that we have that don't have a blessing. Even my reserve vault, we started putting blessings on these legendaries that you get for free. I don't use them. We just throw the blessings on them to get them out of my vault. There's no reason to not use them. So yeah, look at this. We got all these guys with blessings now too. All right, so these are my backups. He's got a blessing. And yeah, we don't use any of these heroes, but hey, they have blessings. So you can get a ton of blessings for all of your heroes over time. It's not something that you want to really grind. If you're really pushing, you can do the dungeon on, I think it's Sunday. It's the Void version. You can use 150 gems to buy more, and then you can get about 2, possibly 3 summons from just doing that in one day. That's up to you if you want to spend it on there. I don't really recommend spending any money on any gems, at least on blessings. All right, so let's look at what they actually do now. Skills. So, and then we'll look at the dungeon and show you what we do. So, basically, you have all these blessings. Now, there's legendary. Here we change. There's the rares, the epic, and the legendaries. Now, some of these are going to. They used to be a lot more kind of not interchangeable. All right, they used to be where each thing kind of gave you different stats. They were very specific. It was a little bit different. Now, every single blessing just gives you the same stats. Look at this. Same stats. It doesn't matter which one I pick. I'm going to get the same stats from my stars. All right. The only thing that's going to change is based on whether or not you're legendary, epic, or rare. A legendary hero will get better stats from a rare blessing. All right. It'll actually show it on here. Like if we go to, let's see, where are I don't know if it'll show it on here. Epic. No, wait, we want to, yeah, we'll do epic. Let's see. Does he have his blessing? Blessing, change blessing. Let's go here. This is going to show it. Yeah, see? This gives you plus 2,250 for epic champions. Okay, so if an epic champion uses this blessing, they're going to get more HP. They're going to get more attack. They're going to get more defense. Don't think that that's special. It's literally just making it so that the epic version, because if you go to the epic version, say, there's nothing here. But if you were using a legendary, you would see on the epic one that the stats would be higher. The stats are going to be the same for literally every single blessing that you use, so don't worry about that. Now, as far as these stats, though, this is the actual stats of the blessing. This will be different from hero to hero and from thing to thing. Say, we go in here, this gives you attack, HP, got defense, crit damage, things like that. But if you go in here, now you've got basically the same stuff. It's almost like it really just streamlined the whole process so that most of it looks the same. It looks like from what I'm looking at now, actually, that they basically give you all the same stats, just you get different percentages of using your blessing. So there you go. Every once in a while, I haven't actually read these in a long time. It's been a bit. So now, what do these do? So basically, they give you powers. All right. Now, most of your rare heroes, and honestly, a lot of your other heroes, they're all going to use Phantom Touch. All right. Almost every single one of my heroes at this point is using Phantom Touch. It basically has a chance of inflicting bonus damage to one enemy whenever this champion hits an enemy target. So it works kind of like War Master in that sense, or Giant Slayer. You basically just get another attack. All right, so when you attack somebody, you're going to get a proc for Phantom Touch at a certain percent. Remember, it goes percentage. So you have a 15% chance at 1, all the way down to a 100% chance at 6, and a 35% chance of inflicting a second instance. So let's just say you have a 6-star rare, all right, which is not something that I don't have. All right, you go into here. We'll go to our rares. Here we go, 6-star rare. All right, let's look at his blessing. Boom. Yeah, I'm not changing this one, I'll tell you that much. Um, so he has a 100% chance of inflicting bonus damage and 35% chance of inflicting the second damage. So that means he has his regular attack, he'll hit once, all right? And then he's going to hit another time for a 100% chance, all right, of doing bonus damage, and then possibly a third time for his 35% chance. And then on top of that, you also have his masteries, which coincides with this. Say, boom, you go on masteries. He's got War Master, so he has another chance of hitting for more damage. All right, so basically he's going to get 4 hits. Not guaranteed, but basically 4 hits. Well, 2 hits are guaranteed, and then he can get more. So that damage starts to stack up really quickly. All right. Now, as far as the best blessings to use, there's no such thing as the best blessing. There's just blessings that are more useful more often than not. There's going to be one-offs that work really well. I mean, you've got Indomitable Spirit, which has a chance of blocking any stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, and provoke debuff whenever the enemy tries to place them on this champion. That's definitely not a bad thing. You can put that on anybody. I mean, that's great for Iron Twins. That's great for poison bosses. It's great for the spider. Like that kind of thing is good if you're having trouble blocking things and your resistances are bad. Yeah, I would just throw that on there and then maybe you won't get killed. Because sometimes, honestly, just getting a bunch of debuffs on your hero is going to end up killing you. Miracle Heal has a chance of restoring a portion of any destroyed max HP whenever the champion heals themselves or an ally. This is really good for things like Hydra. If you have a healer, you can add this to them and basically just get the ability to kind of heal up that destroyed HP. And that's something that actually I put on a bunch of my healers. Almost all of my healers have it at this point because destroyed HP becomes a lot more of a thing later on when you're getting hit by, like, especially Hydra. You want your guys to not keep dying if you want the fight to last longer. And then this is all in the light section of blessings. You've got Iron Will, decreases the damage this champion receives according to the number of debuffs on them. Does not decrease the damage from poison, HP, burn, and bomb. I mean, yeah, I guess it's good if you have like one of those poison enemies, or if you're fighting a hero that can drop 30 debuffs on you at once. But this is more of a specific thing. It would probably be good for, maybe a damage dealer in, I don't know. I'm trying to think like the spider in the Doom Tower when he throws all those poisons at you from his baby spiders right off the cuff. And if you have a hero like me, like I have you Carl in the front that dies, maybe this kind of thing could, but it doesn't decrease the damage from poison, HP, burn, and bomb. So it's like it almost basically becomes useless to itself. So I don't really use it very often, but hey, you never know. If you got someone who can stun you, basically, I guess that's what that before. If you're stunned, frozen, everything all at once, you take less damage. Increase the damage. This is Heaven Cast. Increase the damage inflicted by this champion according to the number of buffs on them. Does not increase the damage from poison, HP bar. So it's basically the same thing, but the damage version of it. I mean, yeah, if you have a bunch of buffs, if you have a buffer that can buff the crap out of your team in like 1 or 2 rounds, then yeah, this is actually not bad. But once again, it's situational. So you have to have someone who can buff you. If no one's buffing you, you're basically have a wasted blessing. Let's see, strengthen your team aura. This is actually really good for leaders like what's her name? Arbiter. There you go. Arbiter is good for this kind of stuff because you have a speed lead, and that's basically what you use Arbiter for. So she would be really good with this. I think that's actually what we have on her for her blessing because it increases our speed in the arena, which gets us to go faster. Always better to go faster, right? And it also, let's say if you have champion the same team, so you can only have one person. It's not like you can keep boosting this to insane amounts. Let's see, strengthens your team's aura, weakens the enemy's aura. This is where it gets a little more fun because you actually weaken the other team's aura by 20% at max, but you also gain a 35% aura. So if you have like, I don't know, 20 speed, I mean, it sounds dumb, but yeah, 20 speed, you're getting a 35% increase. So basically, what is that? Another 6 speed. If you have a 30 or 40 speed lead, yeah, I mean it's good. It's good enough. It could be enough between giving you that edge and not giving you that edge. Lightning Cage, whenever an enemy receives a buff or has their turn meter filled, places one lightning orb stack on this champion. When activating, a lightning orb stack randomly protects one other active buff from being removed or stolen or transferred after activation. The lightning orb stack disappears. A champion can have a maximum of 3 lightning orbs. Whenever a champion with 3 lightning orb stacks hits an enemy target, inflicts bonus damage to them based on their max HP. So it said that bonus damage can occur on each hit of a skill, but does not count as an extra hit. But, I mean, from what I've seen with this, most times in fights outside of like bosses, maybe, like in the arena, this it's only good for a long fight, and you try to end fights very quickly. So I don't know how it stacks up on like defensive teams maybe, but it's not something. Maybe if you have a really good defense go second team, that would be something that's worth it. I see it on a lot of heroes in the arena, but I usually see it on them when they're facing the floor because I kill them because they have lightning cage. But yeah, I call it the magic. It's funny. Someone asked me what it does, and I was like, it kills people in the arena. That's what it does. I was like, because I always see them get killed when they have it. But other than that, yeah, I don't really love it, but it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just I don't see it being better than other ones that you can use. I think I might have had one hero that had that blessing on them, and I took it off almost immediately. Dark. Let's see. Dark Resolve. Increase the damage inflicted by this champion according to the number of dead allies on their team. Eh, I mean, I don't want my heroes dead, so that's usually not something good unless you're doing farming, maybe campaign farming. If you have a solo enemy, like if you're trying to go in with, yeah, what's his name? I was going to say Carl. Jizzo into Scarab King. So something like that would be good if it's you're going in solo. That's basically what that would be good for. Phantom Touch, like I said, bonus damage. Use it on all your damage dealers. That's pretty much what you're going to be using it for. Cruelty, whenever this champion hits an enemy, decreases their defense until the end of the round, occurs once per hit. So yeah, you can decrease their defense, but by how much, right? So it decreases target's defense by 1% per hit, up to 10% for champions, up to 5% for bosses. I mean, here's the thing: it's something extra. It's extra, but do you need that? I don't know. I'm sure there's times where having that extra 5% or 2% of defense drop is good. It's never a bad thing, so I can't see this being a bad thing on maybe like a support hero. Eventually, I would say it gets better when you hit decrease targets defense by 4% per hit, up to 40 on champions and up to 20% on bosses. So this is when it starts becoming like real. Like it actually will do something for you. This in the beginning, it's almost a waste. You might as well just grab Phantom Touch for the first star. But if you're starting to push into 3 and 4 star, or actually five, then this starts to become at least more visibly useful. I'm not going to say it's not useful. It's just not as visibly useful. So it's not terrible. It's just not good until it's leveled up, which is pretty much most blessings. Increased damage enemies receive from poison in the arena. I mean, unless you're doing arena poison stuff, there's no reason to even look at this one. So we're just going to skip it. Decrease enemies. Does anyone use poisons in the arena? Does anyone just poison the crap out of a team? No, I don't think so. Decreases each enemy's speed for each active buff they are under, except for the buffs placed at the start of the round. So literally, they start this off as being awesome and screw it up immediately by adding this at the start of the round. All right. Whenever an enemy receives a third active buff, instantly decrease the turn meters of all enemies by a certain amount. So that's not terrible. I mean, yeah, it's not weird. It's not bad. It's just yeah. I mean, decreasing speed is always good. Always good. So I can't really fight this one, but this kind of bothers me that it's like the whole point of this is that you would want to use it in the arena right when it starts because everyone has 100 buffs. So that this like here kind of ruins it for me. Because I'd rather just be fast and kill them. So decreasing their speed doesn't matter. I usually have a hero that can decrease their speed anyway. And there's some heroes that do both things, like they'll increase your turn meter and destroy theirs. So it's yeah, if this doesn't work on the first round, it kind of defeats the purpose of using it unless you're going into a longer fight. Ward of the Fallen. This has a bone armor, all right, and it basically decreases damage the recipient receives from a single hit, then disappears. The champion can have a maximum of 3 bone armor stacks at one time. Uh, yeah, it deals damage to each enemy hit by this champion. I mean, let's put it this way: it's good on a tank if you want, but the bonus damage will not be inflicted when damaging enemies through masteries, passive skills, reflected damage, poison. Right? It's almost like they start most of these blessings start off strong, and then they add one line that just ruins them. I don't think this one's bad. It's good for a tank once in a while, and that's what it's good for. I don't have a problem with it. I don't hate it, but I don't. I think I had one hero that had it on it, and I think I really took it off of him. Hero Soul increased the damage inflicted to bosses and their minions according to the number of living enemies. I mean, that's good if you have, I mean, Spider, I guess, right? If they have living minions, so that's really a Spider thing. I can't think of anywhere else where there's a ton of minions. Faultless defense is actually really good. Whenever an enemy attacks an ally under increased defense, places a buff placed by this. It has to be placed by this champion. It reflects a portion of the damage back at the attacker. Which, funny enough, we did a live stream, and one of the people was like, "Yeah, you should put faultless defense on, and you can do more damage to Fire Knight when he hits everybody." I'm like, "Really?" So we tried that, and it actually worked. We were able to beat Fire Knight hard. I would say honestly because of that specifically, because yeah, now we have heroes that can do that. Um, yeah, I would say it's good for that. Strengthens your team's aura, commanding presence. If multiple champions have the same thing, it can't work. Blah blah blah. Champions on the same team, intimidating presence and commanding presence blessings. Only intimidating presence will work. So yeah, that's weird. It strengthens your team's aura. Look at that. All right, so it's another aura. Fun stuff. Chainbreaker. This one's really good for stuff where you don't want to get hit by things. It has a chance of removing stun, freeze, sleep, provoke fear, true fear, or petrification. And whenever this champion is hit by an enemy while under any of the debuffs mentioned above, has a chance of partially filling this champion's turn meter. Really good deal. That's on a high awakening. So yeah, I would say this is pretty good. I put it on Jizzo for stupid boy Scarab King because he likes to spit things at you. Pretty much, I put this on any hero that's not a damage dealers per se and is a defensive hero. That is mostly what I use this for because I don't. It's kind of nice for higher end because it gives you a chance to get rid of these stupid buffs once in a while. It's like a clutch move basically. Oop! I hit the wrong thing. It's a clutch move is what it is. Where were we here? Yeah, Life Harvest. Destroys enemy max HP by a certain amount whenever they're revived. So that's not bad. Whenever enemies are revived, partially fills this champion's turn meter for each enemy received. Once again, it's kind of a specific thing for specific fights. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's specific. That's all. Soul Reap, really good, really, really good skill for like arena, for even bosses. He actually gets when he gets to a certain threshold, any enemy, you can basically kill them in one shot, right? The Reaper pops up and just kills them. And at the highest level, if they hit 20% HP, that's a lot of HP. All right, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. At 20% HP, if you hit somebody, they're gonna get one shot. And it does work on some bosses. I'm sure there's bosses that don't allow it, but every boss that I've fought so far that I've had that on there, if when they get to the low HP, the Reapers come out and kill them. So I don't know which ones are not are immune to it, but it is useful on bosses. So imagine getting a boss down to 20% HP that has like a lot of HP and is a long fight, like I don't know, say Iron Twins, I guess. And then all of a sudden 20% HP, boom, gets killed by a Reaper. Yeah, definitely a definitely I keep doing that. Definitely a good skill. I put that on most of my damage dealers and I especially arena things like that. Very good skill. Emergency heal heals the champion whenever a shield buff placed on them expires, is removed, or broken by any enemy attack. The value of the heal is equal to the portion of this champion's max HP. It's great if you got a heal or shielder, sure. Otherwise, it's useless. But yeah, I think I have it on a few of my shielders, and that's it. Partially fills the champion's turn meter whenever a debuff is placed, spread, or transferred onto them. Once again, it's for rares. It's when you need probably like a tanky hero, someone who wants to, you know, not get hit with stuff and get healed or get a turn meter. Yeah, I mean, it's good for tanky people. Crushing Rend. Each round, a number of this champion's hits will ignore a percentage of the target's defense. The percentage of ignore depends on the level of the target. Once again, this is one of those ones it's terrible early on. All right, the first hit of each round will ignore a percentage of the target's defense. Will ignore 1% defense for every 50 levels of the enemy. So basically stupid. But then you get all the way down here. All right, we'll ignore 1% defense for every 10 levels. So that means, whereas here, if you're fighting a level 50 enemy, well, there you go. You get 1%, right? Here, if you're fighting a level 50 enemy, you get 5%. So it's a 5 times difference. See what I mean? This stacks up quickly. I would say if you have a 6-star hero that can use this, that is worth it. All right. Anything else? Not so much. Incinerate places the damage inflicted by HP burn debuffs placed. Oh, sorry. Increase the damage of HP burns. Whenever an HP burn debuff placed by this champion inflicts damage on an enemy, their turn meter will also be decreased by the same amount. It only works in arena battles. Once again, I don't know anyone that HP burns and poisons anyone to death in the arena. Like, you really have to have a good team for that. And even then, it's like you can just one-shot the team in front of you. Why would you sit there and wait for HP burn and poison ticks? You know what I mean? You'd have to have at least like 10 poison debuffs on somebody or 10 HP burn debuffs on somebody for this to be effective. And there are heroes that do that. I mean, there's Calvalax, like there's heroes that can do that kind of stuff. So am I saying that you can't do it? No, I'm saying that it's very rare. Most people aren't going to have Calvalax. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. In the arena, it's kind of dumb. They literally could fix this one and the poison one by just removing the arena thing, but they won't do it. So yeah, they don't want anybody to have any advantages outside of the arena. The arena is fine because then you have to spend money to win. So we go into polymorph. This one's weird. I mean, it basically has a chance of turning things into sheeps, and they lose access to their skills. It attacks one enemy if an ally sheep will join the. It's like all the sheep stuff. It basically just it's a polymorph. It's been in every game. You turn somebody into a sheep and they can't do much, so it's kind of fun. And Brimstone, the best one out here, where it drops smite on a random chance, and basically that smite will do max HP damage, which is really good and does tons of damage. I mean, it'll crush some enemies and help you get through some battles. So I would definitely have at least one person on almost every team where you're fighting in dungeons that has Brimstone, because it's just a nice little bonus damage that gives you a chunk off. So definitely worth it. All right, so now let's go look at the Iron Twins actual fight real quick. We're not going to get too crazy into it because I don't want this video to be 40 minutes long, but basically you get these stages. Each one gets a little bit harder as you go. You use a key when you come in here. Stage 1 is going to be fairly easy, and if we'll just say we're going to use. Let's just say we bring in. You can just poison the crap out of them, if we're being completely honest. No, we'll do this. We'll keep her, keep him. We don't have defense down, but we won't need it, I don't think, for what we're doing. So we're gonna just poison the crap out of them. We'll bring her. Why not? More attack down, defense down. Now, here's the thing about this: is that you need speed down eventually. You're gonna need a bunch of things eventually down the road. In the beginning, for the first three fights, I'm gonna say you don't need any of that crap. You literally can just come in here. It doesn't even matter as long as your heroes are strong. All right, look at this. Say, like, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. You just come in here and wipe the floor of them. Uh, I'm going to let it run. I was going to pause it and save my keys, but whatever. It's one day. All right. And that's it. You literally just kill him with your poisons. That takes a very short period of time. As long as you have a team, by the time you get to this and unlock it, this is all you need to do. All right. Now, my personal opinion on this. Get to stage 3. All right. You're going to see, because you're going to get a reward, a bonus reward for hitting stage 3. This is when you first start. You're going to go into stage 3, and you're literally just going to fight. As you can see, the times here aren't correct because we don't ever do stage 2. So you're going to get to stage 3, and then from this point forward, you're just going to farm stage 3 forever. Like, you'll just come in here every single day and use your 6 keys and farm stage 3. All right. Eventually, when you get strong enough, you're going to go into 5 and from 4 to 6. All right. This could be a month. This could be 6 months. This could be a long time. All right. These fights take a while to kind of get through, and it gets a lot more difficult as the fights go on. A stage 5 fight, this team might not. Well, actually, no, this team would work, I think, on a stage 5. It gets harder, and the fights are a lot longer. And if you can't keep your team alive, you're going to die. All right. Now, basically, the way it works is that you can see we're kicking his ass really quickly. I guess I don't remember which level is hard, but essentially every time he hits a threshold of HP, he's going to remove all the debuffs you throw on him right there. You just saw it. And he's going to start the fight over again, basically, with all the debuffs. He also puts these little iron lungs on you. As you can see, there's like numbers. And every time you can read up on it, on how it actually works, the mechanic, but basically he puts them on in an order based on, I think it's defense. I think the highest defense person, I think, is the most. I don't remember either way. It goes through a cross and gives you these iron lungs, and eventually we'll level it up. Here, which is what we'll do. We'll go in here, stage select, because I don't want to give you the wrong info. I want to make sure we have the right info, right? Boss guy. Let's just go in here so we can see his skills. So here we go. He attacks one enemy, places a 30% decreased crit rate debuff for 4 turns, also places a 25% weakened debuff for 4 turns if the target is already under decreased crit. So yeah, you're going to get a bunch of random stuff. He will ignore unkillable buffs whenever the Iron Twins HP is equal or less than 40%. So unkillable teams, yep, not going to work anymore. They fixed that. After after attacking the initial target, attacks all other enemies, places a 50% decrease attack. He puts a bunch of debuffs on you. Um, Here we go. This is the Iron Brand. So it places or extends Iron Brand debuffs on all enemies. The duration of each Iron Brand debuff given depends on each enemy's defense. The enemy with the highest defense will receive 7 turns of Iron Brand. The enemy with the next highest will receive 6, while the enemy with the next highest will receive 5, and so on. All right, if the enemy already has Iron Brand debuff, the duration of their Iron Brand will be extended. So now this can keep stacking, and it basically debuffs cannot be blocked or removed. All right, and then every time this skill is used, the Iron Twins defense will be increased by 2.5%, plus an additional 1% for every enemy whose affinity does not match the Iron Twins. So basically what's going to end up happening is he's got a bunch of skills that places or extends this Iron Brand thing. So resistance is going to be extremely helpful in this fight. And it's super helpful. But if you put speed down on him, I just wanted to make sure I had the right thing on that. If you put speed down on him, then it's great because one, he's going to be slower, and two, he doesn't gain turn meter whenever you guys use a skill that buffs your team. Because every time you buff your team, if he doesn't have speed up, I'm going to do the quick gist. If you do that, then he gets more turn meter. He's going to get a ton of attacks and wipe you out. Now, once you get in here higher up, like level, I'm going to say stage 8, you're going to see that it's going to start to get a little more difficult. This is really for like later end battles. I would say that your best bet here is to start thinking about teams that can give you more survival, teams that have more resistance, teams that have this is actually a really good team, by the way, for this fight. It's just funny how like they're just wrecking him, surprisingly enough. I didn't even realize how crazy this team was until literally just now. Like I'm watching them whoop this guy's ass. But the problem is they don't have survivability. Like say they're gonna probably gonna start dying eventually. But once you get down, you're gonna be like, oh, I got him down to 40%. This is the most dangerous point of the fight, is 40% and down. He's gonna be Your guy's gonna have all these Iron Brands on you unless you have a high resistance, and he's gonna start chugging away and just clunking you in the face, and you're gonna die. I've had plenty of Iron Twin fights that look like this, really good, and then right down here is where we die because it just gets crazy. Like, we don't have a healer in here except for Apothecary. We don't have any AoE healing, which is something you're definitely going to want in here because this guy hits really hard. Look at that. This is all rares. What was that, stage 8? Yeah, that was stage 8 we were able to get through. Now, remember, my team is extremely strong. They're maxed. This is not something that's normal. Most people aren't going to walk in to Iron Twins with Frozen Banshee, Kale, Spirit Host, Petrify, and Apothecary and win, all right? This is just one of those things that it just happens to work right now. It is only stage 8, I get it, but these fights are really hard early on. Like they're super hard. It's one of the hardest fights in the game, and you definitely want to get heroes that can give you sustainability. I think who are the ones that gave me the best choice, the best things? Obviously Mithrala is great if you have her, but if you don't, Drex can be good in here. Syl can be good in here. Those are the legendaries. There's a few others maybe that might be good legendary. Gerda could be good in here. Um, who else? Anybody that can remove debuffs from your team, and anybody who can add like defense down, speed down, attack down is really helpful in here. All kinds of stuff. But remember, it's going to get wiped, so you need somebody who can do it fast. Because if it's like every like 20 turns, by the time you get to the point where it's useful, he's going to basically remove all that crap, and then all of a sudden you're done. Speed down is going to be your most important friend. As far as what we do here, though, like we're only on stage 12, as you just saw, and we just beat level 8 like it was a joke. They get much harder, and the fights are a lot longer. And I think we're going to kind of talk about this. I've already put it in some of the videos, but yeah, you definitely need speed down. You definitely need debuffs, and you need heroes that can stay alive. All right, Grush is a really good example of somebody that could be good in there. And then you definitely want at least one hero who can do serious quick damage. As you just saw, like my main team that I just used right there, they all do fast damage. They're like many attacks all at once, and that's kind of why it worked. I would say, yeah, let's see. I mean, Cleo sometimes in the early game was okay, but nothing like long term. Funny enough, your Carl's really good for it, but he dies quickly. He's good because he has speed down on his main attack, and it almost always hits. So yeah, perfect for speed down. Visix can be good to keep your team alive if you're having trouble. Drex is really good in there. I mean, if you're having trouble with reviving, I would say Arbiter, but I don't know. I wouldn't use Arbiter there. I don't think I ever have, but not bad. Sail is really good for it. She has speed down on her A1, so she's going to constantly use that, and she heals and revives, so not bad things. I use her and Tolog as a kind of mixture because they can kind of revive each other. So when one gets too high on the scale of iron lungs, that they basically get killed, and then the other one revives the other one, and then we start all over again. As you just saw, Spirit Host is really good in there. She's attack up. She removes debuffs, which is really nice. I think this guy actually has speed down now that I think about it, right? No, freeze. Does he have speed down? No, he doesn't. He has fill turn meter. All right, I thought he was better than he was. Like I said, Petrify is really good for this kind of stuff. She has a ton of debuffs, really good. Pig Boy could be good if you need a defense down to try to kill him faster, so that's an option. And Kale's obviously really good for that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of heroes in here that I would say are probably good for this fight. Uh, you just got to make sure you read the descriptions, go through like I just did, like kind of just sit and read it and really understand it before you move forward. And I think you'll be fine. And then go in here and you buy your stuff. You just come in here, get your stuff, and summon your heroes, and eventually you'll have a bunch of blessings, and everything will be good. And yeah, I mean, it's something that's important, but at the same time, it's very not important. Blessings. All right, blessings are essentially just something you do every day. I farm stage 3 in the Iron Twins, and that was when I first started. Now I farm between stage 5 and 8. It depends on my mood and how long I want to wait for it to be finished. And that's it. I just farm that, and we go in here, and every day we'll get, maybe every day, every other day, we'll get our summon. And boom, we just got a bunch of blessings on all the heroes. I mean, you see how many blessings we have. You don't have to go crazy farming, the highest stages of Iron Twins here. Like, you don't need to have, if you're having trouble, you don't need to farm stage 15. It's just not necessary. If you're not having trouble, yeah, go ahead. Farm stage 15. Who cares? There's plenty of heroes out there. And I would honestly recommend, if you are one of those people that has like a lot of really good heroes and you've been playing for a while and you're still having trouble here, I would recommend checking out some of the other channels out there for raid, because there's plenty of teams out there that I don't use that can probably destroy stage 15 in like 5 minutes. So don't think that I'm like I'm not the end all be all. I don't know everything. This is just what I do. I farm stage 5. Like I said, you just saw me do 8 in a minute. So if I'm bored, I'll just put it on auto, let it run. 5 minutes later, I have all my, well, 6 minutes if you want to get real specific, 6 minutes and 6 minutes and 24 seconds. I will have all of my coins, and then I can go buy them. So yeah, that's basically it for today. If you guys have any questions, things you want to talk about, I just wanted to do like a basic idea of what blessings are, how I get them, and how I make sure that I am constantly doing this every single day and wasting my keys. Uh, yeah, I mean, that's it. There's not much else to say about it. It's an easy boss in the early game, who is an extremely hard boss once you get into the stage. I'm gonna honestly say, from a starting player perspective, I'm gonna say up to 5 and 6, you shouldn't have too much trouble. You'll definitely die early on because you're gonna be, obviously weak. You don't have any 6-star heroes, but once you start having a bunch of 6-star heroes and you have all your masteries and all that stuff, yeah, I mean, up to 5 and 6 ain't gonna give you that much trouble. 7, 8 is gonna start. We're gonna start seeing the difficulty ramp up, and then 10, 11, 12 are just kind of a little insane. I don't even want to get into stage 13, 14, 15. Those are fun. I've been messing with them here and there. I haven't played them in a while, so sometimes I just go back to the fight, and then all of a sudden I win because I got more bonuses from other stuff. So you never know. All right, so if you have any questions, leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about stuff like this. If you guys are having trouble, if you have a better way of doing things in here, feel free to let me know. Like I said, this is just my cheap free way that I do. And as always, like, share, subscribe. It's great for the channel. You help us grow. We do a live stream every single week. So yeah, this is blessings in a nutshell. All right, this is a Mobile Gamer Nerd, and you guys take care.